Welcome to the World Economic Forum meeting in Europe and Central Asia here in Vienna. Emerging Balkans are in the limelight after the arrest of Ratko Mladic, but their economies still need more reforms in order to get the EU membership. For his outlook, I'm joined now by the Prime Minister of Montenegro and world's youngest head of government, Igor Lukšić. Mr. Prime Minister, what's your outlook for the Montenegrin economy for 2011, for 2012? Where do you think the growth will come from?
We're not currently estimating that the growth for this year will be about 2.5%, which is growth from last year's 1.1%. Actually, in the crisis, the only contraction was in 2009 when it was 5.7%. For next year, we expect to grow about 4%. And as you suggest in your question, we obviously expect from foreign investment to bring that growth to us. And we are confident that we're doing our best in terms of implementing certain economic reforms and pursuing economic policy that will respond to the interest of investors.
How much FDI do you expect in 2011, 2012?
We expect about 600 million euros of investment, but the point is that we're a small economy, and I remember back in 2009 we had a huge takeover of minority shares in our power company. Altogether, that investment was about 400 million euros. And Montenegro has been, before the crisis, Montenegro was one of the top 3 countries in terms of investments per capita. So in our country, which is small in size, relatively big investments could turn things upside down. So in our case, what we're currently looking at, those are investments which are under preparation, is several huge real estate projects. But we're not only exclusively looking at real estate investments. Yeah, there is energy and other.
Because you know, when people say real estate, you know, the alarm goes off now. And obviously, Montenegrin economy had those investments in construction, in real estate, and in tourism. But that's probably one of the reasons why you plunged so deep during the crisis. So, what are the others? So, how serious, how big are investments in non-real estate sectors, in non-tourism sectors?
The chief problem with the drop of the economy was that heavy industries were heavily affected by the crisis, aluminium and steel, and also enormous credit growth because before the crisis led to the economic crisis. When I'm referring to real estate, I'm talking also about expanding tourism capacities. So this year we will have quite a good summer season. But unless there is expansion in capacities for 5-star hotels, and unless we expand summer season, there is no sustainability in that industry in the long run. That's why those investments and investors are very important, because it's not only real estate in terms of building villas. It's big hotels, it's marinas, golf courses, and things like that, which expand the possibility to enjoy life while staying in Montenegro.
Will you need more money? Will you tap into international markets for Eurobonds? So still planning to close precautionary agreements with the IMF?
No, we went to the markets recently, so we're done with this year, and we're very, very happy because in 6 months' time, the interest rates we paid for the second issue was lower by half a percentage point compared to our first ever issue in September last year. So it is obvious that investors have confidence in Montenegro's economic potential.
When do you expect to start the negotiations on the EU accession?
Currently, we're all in reforms, as you probably know, because back in February, together with the European Commission, we devised an action plan that sets all the items in order to respond properly to seven recommendations that the European Commission gave us late last year.
Do you think that the successful completion of Croatia's EU talks and the arrest of Ratko Mladic will help your accession in any way?
I believe so. We very much hope that Croatia will finalize the talks soon, so that enlargement process can also encompass other countries in our region. And to that point, we very much welcome the decision of Serbia's government to extradite Mr. Mladic to The Hague, because I believe it broadens the European perspective for the region in principle, as it is very important that the biggest country in the region moves forward in an adequate pace. That helps others. Of course, we cannot rely upon other countries' successes. We have to deal with our own. But turning back attention to Western Balkans by bringing in positive news is very important for all the countries.
Speaking longer term, so if you start, for example, if you hope to start the EU accession talks next year, when do you think you will be able to join the European Union?
We really do not auction with the dates. I don't think it is a proper way forward. What we are committed to is enacting internal reforms and moving forward. Once we open up accession talks, we will continue diligent work in order to close chapter by chapter. But at some point, it is not only upon us, it is also about members of the EU to make that decision.
Do you think it will happen by the end of the decade?
I very much hope it is. It is realistic. It is a realistic scenario.